Here comes Bol. She was denied the gold within meters of the line in the mixed 4x4. Femke Bol is chasing down Jamaica. It's right on the line.
In April 2016, the Irish University's Track and Field Championships in Santry became the stage for an unforgettable moment. Irish standout Healy, 22, arrived at the championships in exceptional form. She set an IUAA record in the women's 200 meters and secured a second-place finish in the 100. But it was in the 4x400 relay where she truly stood out. For her team, the University College Cork, the final leg of this grueling race presented a situation that appeared overwhelmingly dire. As the anchor leg approached, they found themselves in a distant 5th place, facing a daunting deficit of more than 80 meters behind the leading teams. In a race like this substantial gap is almost insurmountable. When Healy received the baton, it seemed like the race was already decided. However, she had a different script in mind. From the very first stride, Healy began to relentlessly close the massive gap. She systematically reeled in competitor after competitor. With every runner she overtook, her drive seemed to grow, changing the audience's disbelief into a roaring wave of encouragement.
UCC, I think we're going to get third, Carl.
UCC from the depths of hell are pouring through.
Oh, Michelle Finn is dying. Here comes CT. Here comes UCC on the outside as well. Who's it going to be?
Of UCC.
Phil Healy's going to make it. This is unbelievable.
Michelle Finn.
And
She's
Phil
on
Healy.
her feet.
God, it's unbelievable. That is unbelievable, Carl. Phil Healy, what a run.
In a breathtaking display of power and determination, she surged past the remaining competitors, crossing the finish line first and securing a victory for UCC. Femke Bol arrived at the Budapest 2023 World Athletics Championships, not just as a contender, but as an athlete widely expected to claim her first individual global crown. In the mixed 4x400 relay, the Dutch team had performed admirably, putting Bol in a commanding position for the anchor leg. As she took the baton, she was battling fiercely, positioning the Netherlands for what appeared to be an inevitable victory. But then, the unthinkable happened. Battling with all her strength to stay in front, Bol crashed to the ground meters from the line.
4x4. Alexis Harms. Femke Bol falls. Femke Bol falls. And the United States wins gold.
The baton flew from her hand, and with it, the chance of gold for the Netherlands vanished. The United States team capitalized on the dramatic turn of events, surging past to claim gold and set a new world record. Bol was devastated. Bowing down, she struggled with the heavy feeling of a loss that stole her personal gold, and more painfully, her teammates' moment of triumph. Still, in that deep sadness, a fierce resolve began to grow. This setback did not break her spirit. Instead, it ignited a focused determination. In a spectacular run in the 400-meter hurdles final, she blazed to victory in 51.70 seconds, finishing more than a second clear of her closest competitors. But the most memorable moment of the entire competition took place on the last day. The stage was set for the women's 4x400-meter relay on August 27th. As Bol took the baton for the 4th and final lap, the Dutch team had run strong legs, placing her in 3rd position, trailing Jamaica and Great Britain. The deficit was manageable, but the task was immense. What followed was an anchor leg of breathtaking intensity and strategic brilliance.
Here comes Bol. She was denied the gold within meters of the line in the mixed 4x4. Femke Bol is chasing down Jamaica. It's right on the line. She's done it. Femke Bol in the Netherlands.
Entering the home straight, Bol unleashed a final devastating surge. She passed Williams to the line, seizing victory in the final 2 strides. The Dutch team secured gold in a world-leading time and a new national record of 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Bol's outstanding performance in Budapest became a powerful narrative of human resilience, determination, and the profound capacity to bounce back from devastating setbacks. At just 26 years old, Sydney McLaughlin Levrone is already considered one of the greatest athletes to ever set foot on a track. Her list of accomplishments goes on forever, and her sprinting performances have made headlines all over the world. But before she was breaking world records on the biggest stages, she was already turning heads. Even in high school, it was obvious. This was a once-in-a-generation talent. She was rewriting the record books before she even graduated. And among all those jaw-dropping high school performances, there's one that stands out above the rest. A race that still gets talked about today. On June 18, 2017, at the New Balance Nationals Outdoor in Greensboro, North Carolina, Sydney's team, Union Catholic High, was struggling to keep pace in the Swedish Medley relay. When it was time for Sydney to take the anchor 400-meter leg, her team was positioned in 6th place, facing a significant deficit against some of the nation's top high school relay teams. No one thought Union Catholic had a shot at a medal, but with that baton in her hand, Sydney put on a show that left everyone speechless. From her 6th place starting position, she surged forward with an explosive burst of speed, passing one competitor after another with an unwavering drive. By the final stretch, what had seemed an insurmountable gap just moments before became an inevitable victory. McLaughlin powered past the last remaining leaders and crossed the finish line first, securing the national title for her team. When the clock stopped, it showed 49.85 seconds for her anchor leg. This phenomenal effort not only won the race for her team, but also established a new national high school record for the Swedish Medley relay, with a total time of 2:05.93. Her 49.85 second split was the fastest 400-meter split ever recorded by a high school girl in any relay event. By the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, Louisiana-born sprinter Evelyn Ashford had already cemented her legacy as one of the greatest female sprinters the world had ever seen. She was the first American woman to break the 11-second barrier in the 100 and the 22-second barrier in the 200. Her personal best ranks her 15th among the fastest women in history. She arrived in Seoul with immense stature. For the women's 4x100-meter relay, the United States assembled a powerhouse team featuring Alice Brown, Sheila Eccles, world record holder Florence Griffith Joyner, and the seasoned veteran Evelyn Ashford. The final began with explosive energy. Alice Brown, leading off for the United States, burst out of the blocks with a blistering start. As Sheila Eccles ran the second leg, the two rival teams skillfully closed any initial gaps, intensifying the competition. Then came the final baton exchange. The handoff was less than ideal, costing the team valuable momentum, leaving Ashford approximately 2 meters behind the leading East German team. This deficit set the stage for one of the most incredible display of individual determination in the history of the sport.
Evelyn. Marley Skur is anchoring, and here come the Soviets. East Germany. Here comes Evelyn Ashford. She does it. 41.97.
In a thrilling display, she unleashed a final decisive surge, leading the U.S. team to cross the finish line in 41.98 seconds. On February 1st, 1990, 14 men lined up at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland for the final of the men's 5,000 meters at the Commonwealth Games. All signs pointed to a Kenyan sweep. Moses Tanui, fresh off a silver medal in the 10,000 just days earlier, was already carving out a legendary career. Yobi Zondieki was the fastest man in the world the year before. And then there was John Ngugi, Olympic champion, 4-time world cross-country title holder, and the undisputed favorite. Kenya looked untouchable. But as it turned out, the form charts meant nothing. Surprisingly, by the time the race ended, the gold medal would not go to a Kenyan, but to an Australian. 5 years earlier, Andrew Lloyd was involved in a terrible car crash that left him widowed and with severe injuries, seemingly ending any hope of returning to competitive running. But he didn't give up. 13 months later, he returned to racing. Evening fell over Mount Smart Stadium as the finalists for the men's 5,000 meter took their marks. In the middle of the pack, Olympic champion John Ngugi hit the ground.
Jack hasn't got a short finish. Well, oh goodness me. Well, I think that, talking about Jack Buckner, I think that was Jack who went over, and Ngugi, as you were talking about.
In an instant, he sprang back up and, without hesitation, surged to the front. He scorched a 400-meter stretch in 58 seconds and took command. Behind him, the field stretched thin. Yobe Zondieki sat in second until the unthinkable happened again.
I think is probably... Oh, Ondieki's down! Ondieki down! And Roland staggered.
The Kenyan tripped and fell, throwing the entire pack into chaos. Lloyd hurtled over him, brushing the infield. It was mayhem. Out front, Ngugi pushed on, untouched by the carnage behind him. A 61-second lap blew the race wide open, 20 meters clear. Williams and Roland chased, and then, 5 seconds back, came a group of 4, including Lloyd. Ngugi surged again at 3,000, and the gap grew to 40 meters with 2 laps to go. But behind him, the hunt was on. Lloyd, methodical and quiet, was beginning to roll. At the bell, Ngugi still led by 4.5 seconds, but his form was fraying. Down the backstretch, the crowd felt it. The lead was shrinking. Ngugi's head tilted, his stride shortened, and Lloyd, running on heart and history, refused to back down.
Ngugi has a look around. The gap has narrowed to about 6 or 7 metres. Lloyd takes off after Hamer and passes him. And now Andrew Lloyd takes off after the Olympic champion. Lloyd is bearing down on top of Ngugi. Ngugi digs deep, but he's got no more. And Andrew Lloyd wins the gold medal for Australia. Andrew Lloyd, whose performances in major events has been questioned previously, has stolen the 5,000 metres from the Olympic champion, John Ngugi.
With 15 meters to go, Lloyd surged past. He held on. Stopped the clock at 13:24 in 86, a lifetime best. Gold for Australia.